Judge Terry?
Yes.
Which juvenile is going first?
We are starting out of order with Maria Angela Rios Adorno, and that's why she's on the screen in the back there.
Okay, let me go get her parent.
And then we'll go to the top of the list.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's 10:30 in the morning, so we're here for the 323rd detention docket. We're going to start with Mary Angeles Adorno.
If we would put all your stuff right there on the bench.
Mary Angeles.
Hi, sir.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Well, first of all, let's make sure your attorney's here. Mr. Sierra is here. All right. So, what is the question involving? And before we start, let me explain to you your rights. Okay, before we even start. Okay. So it's the detention hearing. You have a right to see a judge every 10 days to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, you have to see a judge every 10 days after that. Also want to make sure, okay, your parents there. And then also want to let you know that you have the right to an attorney. You cannot afford an attorney. The court will provide one for you. And then you have the right to remain silent. But if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Okay, so before I go over the probable cause, I will let you ask a question, but I might cut you off because I don't want you to say anything that might put yourself in a spot, okay?
I'm not going to say anything that's going to I just wanted to say, I know being a 3 doesn't look good on my case, for my case. I've been having really emotional past couple of days, and I could have, and I should have responded better instead of breaking down.
All right.
And
okay, so I'm gonna let you know, the fact that you're level 3 right now has nothing to do with your case, okay? Because whether or not you committed the evading arrest or the assault public servant, all these other things, okay, that has nothing to do with your behavior level of detention. What your behavior level does is it affects you coming out or staying there, okay? I'm keeping them separate. One thing happened in the past, it's whether you did it or not, that's not the issue. What you're doing now tells me whether you should be released back to the community or if you're level 3 confined, if you need to stay here. And then on top of that, it also affects, the way it affects your case is whether you get probation or go to TJJD. You know what TJJD is?
yes.
Okay.
And
so you understand there will have to be a decision made on whether you should get probation, stay in the community, get nothing at all, or be committed to TJJD because you cannot behave in the community to keep yourself safe or to keep other people safe.
I understand that, but I just wanted to say I wasn't aggressive in any type of way. I wasn't disrespectful. It's just I was very emotional, and the first time I lost my level was because I was slow to comply in the morning, and I wasn't ready for breakfast. And I just wanted to say I wanted to ask if I could. I just wanted to ask if I can read you a letter before my lawyer speaks.
Has your lawyer seen that letter?
Yes, I read it to him.
Okay. Mr. Sierra, are you okay with this?
Judge, the letter she wrote is her perception on reason why she believes she should be released released from detention, Your Honor, to be released to her mom before she goes to placement.
Sure. Okay, so before you go there, I do, Ms. Guerrero, are you here?
Yes, Judge.
Hello. So why is she level 3 confined?
She received 8 minors yesterday, Judge, and then she got a major infraction for being disrespectful, and it says earn 5 or more minor infractions. So that's why she was placed in confinement.
So it's just kind of a constant defiance situation?
Correct. This was all on the 18th, May 18th.
So just in one day, it's just everything stacked up?
Yes.
So was she level 1-0 before then, or did she drop 2 levels in one day?
I was a 1-0.
She was 1-0. Okay.
It says 2 outstanding, Judge. On 517, she was a 2 outstanding. She was a level 3 confined on 513. The last time she was a level 1 was on 5-8.
Right. Okay. All right. So Mary Angeles, this is, now I don't want to ignore the letter because you took the time to write it.
But
Okay.
sir, I wanted to show, I've been on level 1 standing for like 20 days. 20 days, and I got another one and another one. And
Right.
that's why I wanted to show you that I wanted to read the letter to just advocate for myself, because I can't really say it now because I want to read it to you.
I'm not saying no. I'm not dismissing you. I just want to explain something so you understand what I'm thinking about. Mary Angeles, what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to treat you with respect as a young adult, right? Because I feel like you are, in some ways, looking at your history, you are a lot more mature than a lot of other 14-year-olds. Okay, I get that. And so I'm trying to treat you with more respect, but in the same time, I'm also balancing the idea that you're still a child. And no matter what, you're still 14, right? And that's just the way it is. And so what I need you to understand, okay, is what I'm looking at as a judge is when you're level 1, you don't get credit for being level 1 because that's what you're supposed to be, right? If you had been level 1 at home, you never would have gotten in trouble in the first place, right? And that's just the way it is. Like level 1 is not where you get praise. Level 1 is what we expect. I don't have low standards for children in Tarrant County. I have high standards because I want all of y'all to reach that. Everyone should be level 1 every day. Let me tell you also what my concern is, okay? So you've been approved for placement in Iowa, okay? Now, they should have the bed ready. They're expecting about May 27th.
May 27th, my date?
Well, that's when they're estimating the paperwork to be finalized, okay?
She said it would be today.
Well, this is the report I'm getting is May 27th. This whole coronavirus thing is throwing everything upside down, okay? Now, here's the problem is they will not take you until you've been in quarantine for 14 days. So if I was to release you today and the bed became available the 27th, we would bring you in. You would have to wait here 14 days. And then assuming the bed didn't fill up, then you could go. But if the bed didn't fill up, then you would have to sit here waiting. You understand? So you understand the position I'm in, right?
Yes.
I let you go.
Yes, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to come back here for 14 days. I'm willing. Can I please read this to you? Please?
Yes.
Okay. Whew, okay. I just wanted to say, it says, "Dear Judge Kim, I believe I shouldn't need anyone, not even Laura, to fight for my problems. This is on me and my own battle. The time I've been here, I have been thinking a lot, especially about my future and doing right by my family, and most importantly, being true and doing right to myself. For it is not my fault I have been here longer than I should have. Even so, the delay, I've been working on myself, of course, with staff support. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for staff and my mother's love and support. I believe running away isn't solving your problems. You are just running toward more problems, which most of the time is danger. I do not want that for my life. I am worth and deserve so much more than what I put myself through. I believe I do not belong here nor the streets, for it is not my home. My home is where my mother is, safe and sound in her arms. And I also agree on placement. I feel like if I really try to cooperate, I would leave the placement successfully and truly finding myself. I have stayed on Ronald status for about 3 weeks, even with like the drama name calling and aggressive fights. This shows I have grown and matured incredibly. I am not my past. I am my present, and my future looks very bright. And I'm going to do right, even though you may not believe me. God knows my heart and my goals, and knows that I have changed. I've worked so hard for this chance to be with my mom, my best friend, before I leave her again for months. This would mean so much to me, even if it's for a week or two. I would cherish every moment. If God doesn't let me go today, that's okay, because I know He has something good coming my way. But if He does let me go, He will put it in your hearts to see clearly how hard I worked and how I deserve a chance. For you never gave me an opportunity on an ankle monitor at home. before placement. You never gave me that chance. You and the state have every right to be concerned for my safety. But how would you know if I'm the same person I was before if you never give me the ability to prove myself? Considering what I've been through and all the consequences I accepted, there is no better healing than my mom's love. I believe this 1 week with my mom would be good for me. And also what was going on in Kimbo, I maintained to keep control. And these aren't just words on a paper coming from my mind. These are words of the truth coming from my heart. Please, Judge, thank you.
So, Mary, just like, I get it. Like what I get, I'm trying to have this kind of an adult conversation with you, okay? What I get is your sincerity. I truly respect your sincerity. Like I understand the words and where they're coming from, okay? What I need you to do though, and this is kind of the growing up process, is look at it from my perspective, okay? So if you take off your glasses and put on my glasses and look at it from my side, what I see is, I see a girl that has met the quarantine requirement that can go, because you have to go to Iowa, right? We have to try the placement. I want to give you one last chance before sending you to TJJD. If you go to Iowa and create the same problems you are here, you're going to end up in TJJD, okay?
I understand.
I've been very consistent about that. I give kids a chance in the community. Then if that doesn't work, I have to remove them from the community, but put them in placement. If that doesn't work, then that's what TJJD is for. This is your last chance, okay?
I understand that. And if you send me home today, like literally, I don't want to go to TJJD. I need to be with my mom. And I'm gonna be leaving her for months.
Right.
And I'm just asking for this 1 week. And I'm willing to come back here for 14 days. I am willing, like, I really need to be with my mom.
Here's the other problem, okay? That life is about consequences. The whole reason why that you're at Kimbo is because of the consequences of your decisions, whether it's the harassment of the public servant, the assault public servant, the runaway, the evading, all these things. That's the consequence. That's why we're here, right? So the issue then is, what's the consequence of you level 3 confined, right? If it was so important for you to be able to spend time with your mom, to have a chance to get out, then you would keep your behavior level up. But you made that decision to say, I would rather react emotionally and create a situation because that is more important than anything else. And that was a decision that you made. And I don't know what happened at the time, but I'm going to respect that you made that decision. But what you have to do is respect the consequences of your decision. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
and I'm not asking you to like this. What I'm asking you to do is see it from my perspective. And why it's so important to me is because I need you to understand, going as you're going to placement, is that you will come across situations at placement where you want to react, that you can't control yourself, that you want to lash out. But what you have to understand is you cannot do that, because when you come back to Tarrant County, because you will come back to Tarrant County, there will be a day that you and I have to have a conversation. It's either going to be Ms. Guerrero saying, Judge, she went to Iowa, she came back, they're recommending great things about her, she has been treated, she's gotten the help that she needed, she needs to go back home. That's what Ms. Guerrero wants to tell me. Okay? What she might end up telling me is, Judge, we have a report from Iowa that they're saying they're discharging her because they cannot handle her and they don't want to help her anymore. Then we bring you back here, and then you and I have to have a conversation where you have to listen to Ms. Guerrero, just state the facts of all the things that you did while you were in placement in Iowa. All right? You have to understand from this moment why I'm not releasing you, okay? Because you're level 3 confined, that your decisions can come back and haunt you depending on how you do in placement, okay? Create a situation where Ms. Guerrero can say great things about you. But you know what? You're the only person that can make that happen. There is nobody in this world that can actually make you check yourself and decide, hey, I'm not going to react right now, because it doesn't help me in the long run.
So if I was the one, you would consider me going home?
So let me tell you what. And the thing is, everyone will tell you about me as Judge Kim. I'm always a straight shooter, okay? If you're a level 1, and I would look back and find out about this placement and see what's going on to see if we can play with it, okay? If we're looking at a hard date, because it's supposed, like you said, it was supposed to be today, but now why is it pushed back a week? I would start to dig around and find out, is she really going to go on the 27th, or is that just kind of a pipe dream that we have, right? I would figure out. For me, I'm not even going to look, because you're level 3 confined. Everyone back there in detention knows that if you're level 3, Judge Kim isn't letting you out.
But there was this girl that was a 3C and she left.
Yes, but she didn't get out, right? I can't talk about privacy stuff. She's not home, okay? Just like if you're level 3C on the 27th, you get sent to Iowa, you're going to Iowa. It doesn't matter what your behavior level is. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So that being said, I need you to understand this is a consequence of your decision, but use this as a learning moment. Use this as a point where you make yourself better. So when you go to placement, you understand every decision that you make, even if it's a passive aggressive, failure to comply, failure to follow instructions, every decision that you make is something that I'm going to review and can come back and hurt you or can come back and help you. Okay? And that applies later on because you're 14. You still got over 3 years left living with your mom. Because ultimately, the goal of this is that I can release you to your mom so you can live with your mom, that I don't have to worry about your mom struggling with you. Does that make sense? I need you to be a kid. That's the thing. You're not a grown-up yet. Okay. Okay. Unbound, I see you're here. You're not here for Mary Angeles, are you? Unbound is? Okay. Even more so.
Is there,
Yes, sir.
huh? Oh, is there, my placement PO here?
In this section, I don't know, but even if they were, this is a detention hearing. This is not the time to talk to them. Okay. There's a stack of other kids that need to do detention hearings. You asked for me to hear this detention hearing, which is your right. It's not a problem. It's not bad. I'm glad you did, actually. But we're going to go back to the associate judge, to the other kids that are out in the regular meeting room. Okay? Do you have any questions for me, Mary Angeles?
I've been here for so long. I've just been here for so long, and I don't like, I've been declined by placement like more than twice, and I have to get out of here. It's not fair.
So who's controlling that?
It's not me.
Really? Whose fault is it you're level 3?
But that has nothing to do with placement.
Yeah, but you're saying, why are you there? Whose fault is it? You're saying it's not your fault. It's not on you.
I'm saying longer than I should have. It's not my fault.
Who makes the decision on how long you should be there?
Not me. It's placement. If placement was ready for
No,
me.
it's me, right? I'm the one that decides whether you stay or go, right? I'm the one that sends you the placement. I sign that order, right? So at the end of the day, you have one person in the world to impress, right? That's the judge. Just like when you're at home, when this is all done, you have one person in the world to impress. That's your mom. Okay? That's the way it is. That's part of being a kid. Okay? Your probation officer, Ms. Guerrero, she has one person in the world to impress. That's her supervisor. Okay? That's the way life works. So right now, you are not impressing the person that you need to impress. It's really hard for me to give you grace and to be optimistic about you when you are showing me based on the behavior level that you can't follow the instructions there. You understand how this is kind of how you set this up in this situation? I'm not saying this to be mean, right? I'm saying this that I'm trying to impress upon you that you understand maybe as you go through life that you've got to understand these relationships. It's not about working the system. It kind of is. It's about playing by the rules. But it's about doing what you're supposed to do, doing the right thing. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. Okay, whether it's with me, whether it's with placement, whether it's with your mom, what I need you to do is show your mom respect. And based on the history that I've seen, you've been so respectful for me today, respectful with me. I pray this is the kind of respectfulness that you will show your mom when you go back home, because you will go back home. Okay, you will eventually go back home. Okay, there's no question about that. But I want you to, because I really like your mom. She and I have had conversations at these detention hearings. She has so much love for you. It's unbelievable. Her heart breaks for you. But you have to be willing to accept her love. And a lot of the times you really aren't. You want to do it your way. Yeah. I know this is not what you want to hear. This is not good news for you. What I'm asking you to do is understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I'm saying this because I get it. You're more mature than the typical 14-year-old girl. Okay? Go to Iowa, do great things. I want good progress reports from Ms. Guerrero, because if they end up kicking you out, then I have to bring you back here, and then we have to have a hearing to decide whether or not there's any other options other than sending you to TJJD. Okay? All right. Mary Angeles, do you have any other questions for me?
Would I be able to see my mom before I leave?
So Unfortunately, probably not because of the coronavirus issue. Normally, we would have visitation. We're the only county in Texas, only urban county, that allows 7 days a week visitation because it's important for me for parents to be able to see their kids. But because of this coronavirus issue, we have stopped in-person visitation. So, and because of that, we're just not able to provide that face-to-face visit. I really wish we could. And if we did, it would restart that 14-day quarantine period anyways. This is not easy on your mom either.
Can you,
Okay.
can you tell my my placement PO if you can call me?
Yeah, Ms. Guerrero, do you mind asking placement to?
I will, Judge. He's listening.
Okay, great. Angeles, use this opportunity, okay? And I'm trying to talk to you as an adult rather than a kid. Like, use this opportunity, do great things, okay? All right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and order you detained. And Ms. Guerrero, if there's a change with Iowa, please let the court know, okay?
Well, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you, Mom.
Thank you, Judge.
Give us just a second, Judge. Let me bring the.
All right. So this will conclude the portion I'm doing. Judge Terry is here and she will continue with the rest of the detention hearings. I apologize that took so long.
Good. Good morning, everyone. Okay, it looks like we need to bring in Fabian Almanza. Oh, he did sign a waiver, excuse me. So the next one will be Ernesto de la Rosa.
I apologize for my screen name, Your Honor. I'm having technical difficulties. I had to use my iPhone, so.
That's okay. I saw that and I wondered if that was you, but then, you
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
you never know.
I'm having difficulties with my other devices, so my iPhone is being used, Judge. But anyway.
That's okay. It's a different world we live in for the moment, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So.
Hey, Judge, this is Frank.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry to do this to Trent, but I represented this young man prior, and I just got a text while I was holding here that the dad that I see there wants to retain me again, and I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, I will go ahead and all right. So you want to go ahead and take over right now, Mr. Adler?
If the court permits, and if it's okay with Trent, I will.
Without a doubt, Your Honor. All
right, sounds.
He is upgrading right now, so everyone listening, so that's good.
I don't agree with that, but thank you.
All right, then that's what we'll do. Okay. Do we have where's the child? Oh, I think they have to take the laptop back to the front of the facility. So we'll just take just a few minutes. And just as a reminder to everyone, because the courts are closed to the public at this time, the court is broadcasting live on YouTube and it's shared on Facebook as well to comply with Open Courts Act. And also any any recording of any part of this hearing or publication may result in the finding of contempt by this court, and any violation, gosh, I can't talk today. Any recording or publication of any part of this hearing is prohibited by Texas law, and violation of that is subject to a finding of contempt by this court. I'm gonna go ahead and filter out because I think we're being generous right now. So, of course. Big or little? Whatever you grab. No. Apparently I can't grab paper clips today either. Okay. Trace, would you mind calling back there to see if they need some help or if there's a problem or something? Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, no, thank you.
Are they having?
They're just hooking the computer up, they just don't back.
Okay. All right. They're just getting the laptop for the kids back where it goes. So should just be shortly. Is Mr. Marquez on here? Looking for the child's PO.
Your Honor, I'm covering for Officer Marquez.
Okay, thank you. Okay, here we go.
Yes, sir.
You Ernesto De La Rosa? Hi, okay, Ernesto, I'm gonna need you to move closer to the laptop so I can hear you better, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, that's better. I'm Judge Terry, I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd District Court. This is your initial detention hearing. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, you also have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. However, I'm told by Mr. Frank Adler, who's an attorney, and he's also here on the Zoom screen if you can see him. He's wearing a green shirt and tie. I'm told
Awesome.
that your father sent him a message this morning indicating that he was retaining him to represent you, okay? So he is here on your behalf as well. You have a right to have that this hearing recorded, and if you choose to do that, Mr. Adler will let me know, okay? All right, so it says that you were brought in yesterday for assault causes bodily injury to a family member. Arlington PD were dispatched to the residence for the second time yesterday due to a domestic disturbance. Once the officers arrived, they were advised that you were attempting to leave the home without permission, and your father was attempting to stop you. And it was further reported that you punched your father in the arm with a closed fist and spit in his face. It says that you also picked up a flower plant, I'm guessing a flower pot, and threw it against the wall. It says that your sister reported to the officers that you get violent and lash out every time you do not get what you want. And she says that you frequently assault family members, but they do not call the police as they don't want you to get into trouble. You are on probation with us here for failure to identify, giving false fictitious information. And I believe you were placed on probation on February 13th of this year. You also tested positive for marijuana when you came in. So, Dad, what's going on with him?
It's just he got a little out of control. I tried my best to give him advice as well as the other peer members that have worked with him before, and I don't know. He's just I ask him to do things he's not supposed to, and he chooses to do things on his own. I just want him to change and for the better. I mean, he's a bright kid. He's a young kid. I still don't give him, I'm not giving up on him. I just want to help him out.
Right, that's good to know. I mean, because if it's true that this is how he lashes out, he doesn't know how to express himself other than violence, that's not a good path to be on when you're 14 years old, Ernesto. Do you understand that?
May I speak something? Can I say something?
Oh, that depends. What do you want to talk about?
Like when I was trying to leave, to the backyard because I have a punching bag, and that's like one of the ways I like release my anger is like I like to box, and they wouldn't let me go. They were trying to surround me, and I was telling them that I wanted to leave to the backyard.
Ernesto, Judge, can you please tell him to stop talking?
That's fine, Ernesto. That's pretty much all I need to know as far as being able to talk with you. I don't want to know too much about what you have done. So your attorney's asked you to stop talking, but I do know this, that if you were just wanted to go to use a punching bag, that is a great way to blow off steam. I 100% support that, okay? I want you to know that I'm a huge advocate of, taking your frustrations out on something safe like that, an exercise, whatever you need to do to blow off steam, okay? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll never fault you for that. However, your dad and your elders in your household have a right to tell you when you can and can't use that, okay? Now, you may think it's yours, but actually, if it's your father's house and it's there, it's his, okay? He gets to decide when you can use whatever it is outside, when you can go outside, whatever you can do, okay? Because you're 14 years old. So he gets to decide that. What you don't get to do is you don't get to react violently, okay? So while you found a great way to blow off steam using a punching bag, I think what you need to think about is, well, we all need to think about how to get you some coping skills so that it doesn't escalate when you're told no, okay? So it doesn't escalate to violence. So Dad, are you comfortable having him home?
At the moment, I just need him to understand if he's gonna come home, he's gonna abide by the rules. Like the first time I let him out, he promised us that he was gonna change. He'd seen the light. They got drastic. I don't know if it was the COVID beginning or whatnot, but then we can't blame anything because there's other children around the world doing the same thing, staying at home, staying safe. And that's all I worry about is him to do his studies, do his schoolwork. Listen, I don't ask very much for him, just to be safe and do his schoolwork and succeed in life. That's all I want. And
that's what I do want you to understand, that I know it has been difficult on all the children, okay? It definitely has been, and I'm sure some of them are acting in ways they wouldn't normally behave. He's indicated prior that he has capabilities to be completely disobedient and buck authority. And just so you understand, I do want your input as to whether or not you want him home, so I want to see where you're coming from as a parent. I'm concerned about his safety too, because he did test positive for marijuana. He's not following your safety rules. He's out there getting marijuana from somewhere, okay? And so I'm going to keep him here because at this point, I do think he's a danger to himself out there smoking marijuana. And so we'll see. Ernesto, are you using anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you, when's the last time you smoked marijuana?
About 2 days ago.
About 2 days ago? Okay. How often are you using marijuana?
It was just like one-time thing.
One-time thing?
Two-time thing.
Okay, that's it. That's all I need to know. And so what I want you to do is I want you to get to level 1 outstanding behavior, and then we'll consider your release at that time. And also when you have tested clean, so that when we release you, because you are on probation too, we know that you have nothing in your system, okay, when you have left here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's the order of the court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gallegos, is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Looks like his family is coming in. This is you, Mr. Lofton, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Mr. Victorson, okay. Okay, Mr. Gallegos, this is your 10-day detention hearing. You were brought in on April 5th. And as you know, after your initial detention hearing, you have a right to this hearing every 10 business days, okay? And the purpose of which is to determine whether you should be released back into the community and sent home with a parent or guardian, or if we should keep you here in Kimbo for a little while, okay? You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention, all right? You also have a right to an attorney, and an attorney has in fact been appointed for you, and it's Trent Lofton. Do you see him on the screen there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a right to have your hearing recorded, and if you want to do that, Mr. Lofton will let me know that, okay? So it looks like Have there been more offenses added since the last detention hearing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
He was originally referred for some out of custody back in January.
Yes, I see that.
That was being handled by our intake unit when these allegations came through, where he was brought in by the police.
Okay, so petition's been filed on the offense date of January 16th for criminal trespass.
All of the offenses now
For
have,
everything, okay.
So
That way I don't go through and list them all.
it's actually, there's 3 different petitions at this point. There's a certification, there's another petition for all of the more recent felonies. And then my report is a little inaccurate. I said that there's a petition for misdemeanors, but there are actually 2 felonies on that original petition too.
Okay, let me just go through, because the report just looks a little different than it was last time. Okay. So your report says 1 petition alleges misdemeanors, a 2nd alleges felonies, and the 3rd for certification.
Right.
And what did you
that's
say
right.
the correction is?
The correction is that on that first petition, there's actually 2 state jail felonies that slipped by me. I thought they were misdemeanors.
Okay, all right. It's also positive for marijuana when he came in. And so, yeah, so he's got the January 16th referred out of custody by Arlington PD for criminal trespass. That around 10:52 a.m., Arlington PD was dispatched to a residence by a neighbor who reported a group of teenagers broke into a vacant home. And one of them was later identified as Lucas Gallegos. They did not have the owner's permission, and police report alleges that walls and windows were damaged. But all the teens denied causing the damage. And then on January 31st, a few weeks later, he was referred out of custody for assault causing bodily injury. Police reported revealed that around 3:45 p.m., Arlington PD was dispatched regarding an assault that occurred at Sam Houston High School. White male victim was with a group of juveniles, some he did not get along with, and was punched several times while covering his face, causing pain by a student named Lucas Gallegos. And then, of course, on April 5th, approximately 7:40 a.m., police were dispatched to the family's residence regarding a shooting. Andre Petty opened up the door and explained that he woke to a loud noise, and then he heard Lucas's mother pleading with him not to shoot her. And then he heard the sound of gunfire. When he left his bedroom to investigate, Lucas pointed the revolver style handgun and fired at him, but he missed. Lucas pulled the trigger a 2nd time, but the weapon was out of ammunition. Lucas left the residence with a friend and was spending the night. Police continued to investigate and learned that his mother had been shot in the torso and her boyfriend Chris was shot in the head. No pulse was found on Chris. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Police located Lucas and his friend Roderick and apprehended them and initiated a homicide investigation. Detective was assigned the case. He met with Lucas and Mr. Andre Perry. And when he interviewed Lucas, Lucas cooperated and explained that he and Roderick planned this out the previous day because Roderick wanted to hit a lick. Roderick planned to kill Chris and wanted Lucas to kill his mother, his own mother, and Andre Petty. He explained Chris had 2 guns in the home and the boys hid them away while they were playing video games, and they woke early when everyone was asleep. Roderick used a 9mm to kill Chris, and Lucas admitted that he waited until his mother approached and then he pointed and shot her 2 to 3 times. They left the home then, walked to Roderick's home, and gave the handguns to Roderick's brother. It's escalated quickly, Mr. Gallegos. I don't know who Roderick is, why you're hanging out with him, what's going on. And I know last time, Mom's here again today for you. And I know last time she was here, she wanted you home, but this is so serious. I don't even know. I'm concerned that Mom is still quite couldn't possibly come to grips with what's happened. And I can't blame her. So for the safety of the community and for your mother, I'm going to keep you detained. Thank you. Oh, Gator's back? Gator's back.
There's no parent here for the next child.
Okay, thank you. And this is also you, Mr. Lofton, and then Ms. Gonzalez. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can't remember, Ms. Geter. Is it Geter or Jeter?
Jeter.
Jeter. Okay. Sorry. Every time I know I have to ask you to remind me. Okay, Ms. Jeter, this is your initial detention hearing. You know that you have a right to a detention hearing within 2 business days of being brought in here to Kimbo. Purpose of this hearing is to determine whether we should keep you or if we should release you to a parent or guardian, okay? We've met before. I'm Judge Terry. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for purposes of your detention hearing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and you know you have a right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. We do have Mr. Lofton here on the screen. Do you see him?
Yes.
Okay, he's your attorney today. And you also have the right to have this hearing recorded, and Mr. Lofton will let me know if that's necessary. Says that you were brought in yesterday for assault causes bodily injury to a family member. Then on Monday, May 18th, you were referred in custody by the Hearst Police Department for that offense. According to the police report, you were in a physical altercation with your mom and you were seen walking down the street with a male companion. Mom reports that she was hit in the face with a closed fist. And then you were transferred to Tarrant County Juvenile Services. I believe there was a directive to apprehend issued on the 9th of April. Is that correct?
Your Honor, there was, and that was the last time she was in our detention center. The last time she was in our detention center, we were able to locate her on April the 21st of 2020, and she was just released May the 12th of 2020.
Okay. Just released May the 12th to mom and then punches mom in the face 6 days later. And mom is not here. Did you talk, is mom just didn't want to come, or do you know if she was working, or do you know what's going on?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I've tried multiple times calling, texting her. Her MO is that she's not as responsive as I'd like her to be.
Okay. Let's see, you're on probation with us for unauthorized use of vehicle. And that was since December. Testing negative for all substances, so that's good. Doesn't seem to be an issue. I remember this. I remember. Her mom's not exactly the most cooperative or easiest person to help us assist her, is she?
No. That's correct.
Are you also indicating no, Ms. Jeter?
Yeah, she's not.
Okay, but I need you to understand something. You are barely 14 years old, okay? And while your mom may not be 100% on top of things with you at home, okay? You don't get to hit her, all right? Okay. You don't get to punch her in the face and do stuff like that. I understand you're frustrated and we need to get you some help somehow. She's not here, so I can't even release you anyway because there's no one to release you to, okay? I mean, at what point we may have to consider some other options. I'm looking at the fact that both FFT attempts were disapproved. I'm assuming it was mother's failure to make scheduled appointments.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'm detaining her just because there's nobody to discuss considering her release too.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
It will be,
We should have Mr. Gonzalez next. And I see, is that mom there? Well, Mr. Acosta, this is your 10-day detention hearing. As you know, you have a right to a detention hearing every 10 business days, okay? Purpose of which is to reevaluate the situation and determine whether you should continue to be detained or if you should be released back into the community to a parent or guardian, okay? I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd. We've met before at least one time, and you have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. It can only be considered for purposes of detention. You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Adler, and he's here on the Zoom screen. Do you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if I were you, I would not say anything unless Mr. Adler approves of it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have this hearing recorded, and Mr. Adler will let me know if he wants that done. It says here on, well, let's see, as of today, you are level 1 or level 2 acceptable. And I think that alone, in combination with the seriousness of the allegations in these offenses, the multiple offenses over a consistent period of time, and that even facing that, I think I said this to you the exact same thing last time, even facing that, you still don't have top behavior here. So I really have, you're not giving me anything at all whatsoever to work with. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep you detained.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. These two acceptable. Okay, you can go, sir, and they can bring in the next child.
Not
Thank you.
speak with my parents.
No, now's not the time to speak with your parents. I'm sure that Mr. Adler can arrange that, or that can be
Okay.
arranged with your PO.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hi, are you Micaiah?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you say your last name? Is it Hillier?
Hilaire, yes, ma'am.
Hillier, okay.
Judge Terry?
Yes.
If you don't have a parent in the building, there may be one via Zoom.
Mom's
Okay,
on via, mom's on via
Okay, what is mom's name on the Zoom screen?
Latasha Hillier.
Let me see if I can find her here. Okay, Latasha Hillier.
Well, she was.
See her? Can you describe her to me?
It looks like, I don't know if she just went off.
I don't recognize that name at all and haven't seen it.
She just went off.
All right, she may have gone off or something happened with her connection. If she tries to get back in, I will let her back in, of course, but let's go ahead. All right, this is you, Mr. Lofton.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hey, Ms. Hillier, this is your detention hearing. I am Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd, and you have a right to have this hearing within 2 business days of being brought in here to Kimbo. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you. Any other kind of proceeding, I can only consider for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have a right to an attorney. You cannot afford an attorney. One will be appointed for you. And we have attorney Trent Lofton here for you today. Do you see him?
Yeah, I see Frank Adler too.
You do? All right, well.
Much better, so.
Oh,
And Mr. Adler's wearing a tie today, so. But for today, you get Mr. Lofton, okay?
okay.
All right, and if you want your hearing recorded, Mr. Lofton can let me know that. So you, oh, looks like your mom's trying to come in. I'll let her back in now. Okay. Wait till she's connected here. Okay, Ms. Hillier, you're back with us, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're on your daughter's case now. I just called it so you didn't miss anything. Her attorney is Mr. Lofton. He's here on the screen, just so you know. So she was brought in yesterday. Oh, you voluntarily turned yourself into the Lynn Ross Detention Center on a directive to apprehend that was issued by Judge Porter on April 27th. Due to having you leaving home without permission and your whereabouts were unknown. It says that on April 20th, as the officer was conducting her weekly phone contacts, the officer received information from your mom that you left home the day before on April 21st without permission, and that your mom called it in as a runaway on the same day and provided the officer with a report number.
Can't get on your butt.
See, Mom, I'm going to go ahead and keep you muted until it's time for you to speak, just to cut down on the background noise, okay?
Okay, yeah, because I'm working.
Okay, good. I can appreciate that. All right. Okay, on May 18th then, yesterday, it says that you contacted your probation officer and asked if you had a warrant and asked what you should do next. The PO encouraged you to turn yourself in, which you did. And okay, I have a question for Mom. No.
Yes.
Okay, Mom. So this whole time you had no idea where she was?
No, ma'am.
So you had no contact with her?
No, she texted me or whatever after she had an incident with her finger, acting, crazy out there. And she was just, trying to get her Medicaid started to get her medicine. So basically, after she left home, she only contacted me when she needed me for something.
Okay. All right. I'll put you back on mute so you can keep working. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so you have been, let's see, you've been on probation since September of last year. You tested negative when you came. Oh, no, there was no test administered yet.
No.
Why is that?
You talking about a UA?
Yeah, she tested positive. She ended up testing positive for marijuana yesterday, Judge.
Okay, it's just not on the report yet. So you're testing positive for marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, you do the COVID procedures. You've been supervised by phone contact. You had been participating in counseling with your mom prior to leaving home recently. I'm concerned, Ms. Hillier, what you may have been out doing for the last few weeks, but I don't want you to tell me, okay? But I'm concerned about that. I mean, I know you've been out smoking marijuana. I know that. When's the last time you used it?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? And how often have you been using it?
Every day.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think we should do with you today?
We ain't really said much.
Excuse me?
We haven't really said much.
I haven't said much. Let's see.
I want to go home.
You want to go home. So you want me to send you home so you can run off and smoke marijuana every day? Okay, I heard what you want. What do you think should happen? What do you think I should do?
I don't know.
I have to be concerned. I'm not really concerned about you harming anyone else right now because I don't know what you've been out doing. I know what has been alleged in the past. I don't know what you've been doing all the last few weeks, so I can't say that I'm really concerned about you harming anybody, okay?
You just said you didn't want me to tell you.
You're right, I don't.
Doing nothing.
I don't want you to get yourself in more trouble, okay? So, but what I can tell you is part of my job is to make sure that you are safe. And I don't believe for 1 second that you're safe out there smoking marijuana every day and you're running off. You are 17 years old. You're probably running around with some adults is my guess. Staying with whomever. You got your mom trying to work. She can't even be at your detention hearing because she's there trying to work and earn a living to support you. And you've got her worried, not having any idea where you're at, putting her in a position where she's got to call in a runaway on her own child. So I need to keep you here. And I don't want you released until you are back down to testing completely clean, okay? Because
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, just take a breath for a second, okay? It's gonna be all right. Just the judge is talking and you're being very courteous right now. Just hang tight for a second, okay? You're doing good. Yes, I apologize, Your Honor. Go ahead.
that's okay. She'll be an adult in 3 months and we won't see her. She'll just be downtown if she continues this behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
But for right now, I'm gonna take every opportunity we have to, that we can use to try to get through to her and get her some help, okay? Because that's what we're supposed to do here. So I'm not punishing you, Ms. Hillier. I'm just trying to make a last ditch effort to help get you some services that you need, okay?
And Your Honor, her brighter possibility counselor is also on the Zoom with us if you have any questions for her as well.
Oh, okay.
Janine Temple is.
Oh yeah, I see Miss Temple. I could tell she was paying attention. So Miss Temple, she was pretty, I'm trying to unmute you. Was she and her mother were involved prior to this happening recently?
Yes, yeah. I would talk to them about once every 1 to 2 weeks over the phone.
Okay, is that something you can maintain while she's here?
I can. Mm-hmm.
Right, I would like to see that happen so that she maintains that kind of consistency. So, okay, so I'm going to detain you, and I do need you also to be on level 1 outstanding behavior. So,
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mom, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Hey, horrible, horrible.
It's my stomach, sorry.
Mine's gonna start too, so it's okay. All right. Okay, this should be Landon Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And this is you, Mr. Dotson, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's Dad?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Let's see. All right, Mr. Jones, this is your detention hearing. You've been brought into Kimbo and you have a right to this hearing within 2 business days of being brought in. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether you should be released to a parent or guardian or if you should be detained here at Kimbo. And you have a right, if you're detained, you have a right to a hearing every 10 business days again for the same purpose, okay? You have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you in any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you also have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, excuse me, you have a right to an attorney. And your attorney for today we have is Trent Lofton. Do you see him on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney for you, but for today you have Mr. Lofton, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have a right to have this hearing recorded, and Mr. Lofton will let me know if that's what you choose to do. So you were brought in just earlier today by the Fort Worth PD for the offense of injury to a child or elderly. According to the police report, at 12:50 a.m., officers responded to a domestic disturbance. Upon arrival, officers observed your grandfather, who's the alleged victim, sitting on the porch with a busted lip and blood on his shirt. He indicated he was asked by your father, which is his son, to come and help your father with you because you were having behavioral issues at the home. It says that you and your father got into an argument when you were told you could not go fishing. The victim indicated that he went upstairs to try and help your father get control of you when you pushed past your father and called your grandfather a bitch and hit him once in the mouth with a closed fist, causing him pain and dizziness. Grandfather then indicated that he left the room and called 911. 16 years old, you have no other history with the department.
Your Honor,
Yes.
his father did it on April 12th. They did have a misdemeanor assault, but contact police call out to the home. He and his father had an incident on April 12th. That still has to be done.
Really? Okay, I didn't see that on here. Okay,
Yeah,
so this isn't the first time he thinks he can punch one of his elders.
Right.
He's flexing on, he's a big boy. He's 16, he's a man now. He's flexing on his dad and his grandpa now. Is that what's going on?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so is he on any medications, Dad?
He's supposed to be on Zoloft, Abilify, and Adderall, but he refuses to take them. He says they do nothing. We've changed them, but if he won't take them on a regular basis. I tried
Okay.
him 2 weeks ago, and he refused it. I'm not taking them unless you let me go somewhere. I'm not taking it. And
Okay, Landon, when's the last time that you've seen a doctor to adjust your medication?
I was on a Zoom call with my doctor, my psychiatrist, about 3 weeks ago to talk about my medicine. I think it was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, and did they make adjustments at that time?
Yes, ma'am. They made an adjustment. I was on Vyvanse at first, and they put me on Adderall.
Okay, and so your prescriptions are filled and you have them available at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it that you don't want to take them?
I usually take them, but sometimes I feel like they don't work, so I don't see the point in taking them. But I do try to take them every single day when I can. But my mom decides not to give them to me if I wake up super late because she thinks that the medicine's not going to work. So she waits till the next day to give them to me.
Okay, that's a question for your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that those medications need to be in your system consistently, okay?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that, it's not a quick fix thing, all right? It's not like an Advil or something that's gonna be a pain reliever or something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
They need to be steadily in your system for them to work. I'm sure your doctor's told you that, okay? And so if you're not feeling like it's working, but it's, a month into it or 2 months into it or so after the adjustment, then it's time to talk to your doctor again. But, if what your dad is saying is true, you say, well, I'm not taking it unless you let me do this. You're not hurting anybody but yourself, okay?
Understand?
Because then I'm wondering if that's playing into your behavior now, which is going to get you in bigger trouble than if you would just take your medicine like you're supposed to, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know that that's the problem, but I'm wondering. And so I want to look at this from all angles and see what this is, because what you're doing right now is not, you cannot continue that, okay?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Sure.
that police report is very wrong. And I would like to speak.
Okay.
I would like to speak.
Hey, just 1 second. I'll get a chance, sir, to look at all these things too, and we'll go over this. I'll call you in about 30 minutes. So this is, so let's not get into the police report right now, because I would agree there's probably some irregular, blah, 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 whatever. But anyway, excuse me, Your Honor.
That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Lofton. Deb, is it you and his mom at home?
No, ma'am, we're divorced.
Okay, all right.
He's with me this week. Mom has custodial, but he's been with mom for pushing most of 6 weeks. So I'm off for 10 days. So we tried to give her a break.
Okay, because of, there being no school and stuff, it's a handful, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, this is.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you and his mom can work together that way. That's really important, especially it seems like he has some needs. Okay. And so, where's his medication now?
The Adderall is with mom, who's on the other side of town, because we have to keep it because we don't trust, to be just be in the cabinet, but the rest of it's at his mother's house. So I could get it down here if needed to be, not a problem.
Okay. Is mom, is she on the Zoom call at all anywhere?
She's watching on YouTube. So
She's on, okay. Okay.
we did.
I would like to hear from her too.
We didn't know who needed to be here or what. So.
Right. I mean, you both have a right to be here, so you can share that, in the future. Hopefully there won't be, but I just would like to talk to her, knowing that you guys are in two different homes, and it sounds like you have, you work together as far as possession and access with him, and sounds like with the medication, you might have to work some things out between the two of you. I'm concerned that there was this, within 1 month, we've got 2 incidents of domestic violence.
Your Honor, the cops have been called 4 times since COVID for him. So I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. So I'm all ears.
Because he just wants to go do whatever, or?
He has an issue with the word no. So when he's told no, he flips.
Look, Landon, I understand that a lot of kids have an issue with the word no. And I'll tell you what, most kids have been affected of all ages by this whole thing. Even the adults have been, okay? This is a different way of living. We're not used to that, okay? We're used to having some more freedom and flexibility. You're used to having a social life, aren't you? Yeah, you're probably used to be able to go hang out with your friends. You're used to, at least, I'm sure you don't love school. Do you love school or no?
It's okay. Depends on the day, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's normal for some, but, I think deep down, you probably miss going to school somewhat, don't you?
I do. I miss going to school.
Yeah, it's hard. I know. It's really difficult. Got to find another way to cope with it other than what you've been doing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you an athlete? Are you into any sports, or do you have any hobbies?
I like football a lot. I used to play football.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what you can do, some sort of drills at home or something, okay? Something.
Yeah.
Do you have cable?
What do you mean cable?
Like cable internet, like cable TV?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I do.
Okay. A lot of stations that are streaming old games from all time and stuff like that. Give you something to do,
Yes, ma'am. I've been watching The Last Dance lately, Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh yeah? I haven't seen that yet. I'd like to see that. So what about your schoolwork? Are you caught up on that?
Yes, ma'am. I think I only have about 4 assignments left to get done.
I see Dad is saying no.
No.
I'm getting emails from teachers saying that, the stuff he's turned in has been done quickly, not enough time to spend on it because they can tell. This is just what we're hearing from teachers. We have a conference sometime this week. He is currently in DAEP, even though he's at home in the school. And they said if he doesn't finish his stuff and get it all done, he will start next year. He started this semester. He's pretty much spent the whole semester. He was supposed to be there 30 days. And we were on day 50 something when this all hit because he wouldn't go to school.
Okay. Landon, it only takes probably a few hours a day of school, not a full school day, to actually do the work that you're assigned.
And I understand that's where I messed up by, putting it off, procrastinating, just And I've started to realize that, it's crunch time now, but I've been getting as much as I can done in these days that I've had. And I'm almost done with my enrichment project that I need to get done. And I'm almost done with all my world history. I'm almost done with all my English. I literally just have a few more assignments left to get.
Okay.
Everything.
So why don't you make that your project then? You need to do that. Do that for an hour, hour and a half like you would at school. Get up, take a break, do some burpees, do something to keep you in shape for football, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Every hour, and then you pick the next subject and get back to it or whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Or pick one day and work on one subject and get caught up all on that one. Whatever you want to do, but you've got to come up with a system, and you've got to just stay focused on that right now, so that you're not so focused on going fishing or whatever else is you feel like doing right now.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Dad, do you think you are able to manage him at home?
I don't mind trying, ma'am. I mean, this is the third time that he's physical with us when we've told him no. You come down and ask me to go fishing at 12:30 at night? No. And when I told him no 42 times is when my father came down and said, what is the problem? Because he won't take no. He's like, tell me a good reason. I don't have to give you a good reason, Landon. I told you no. You don't own a fishing pole. You don't like fishing. You're trying to go get whatever you want to get. Not happening. And he doesn't know how to turn around and leave.
Can I ask what that meant?
There's no drug test history. So I'm hoping he doesn't do that. Hoping that's not what's going on, because that's the only thing I can think of, that or a girl in the middle of the night. So, Dad, COVID or not, Landon, Dad gets to tell you when you can come and go anyway, okay?
I understand. And I understand that's where I messed up, but I kept on asking him. I should have just let him say no, and I should have just went back upstairs. And that's
and you should have just stayed mad at him and punched your pillow or something, okay?
I understand.
And your grandfather's a whole different deal. He's 65 years old. And for you to treat him that way, like, I don't even know about, Grandpa doesn't live there, does he?
No, I called him up yesterday to try to help me. We're old school and my ways have not been helping. So I tried to just, hey, I knew it was going to be a long week and it was just, it's not what I wanted. I promise you. It's just, if he just went upstairs, nothing would have happened.
And that's what family's for. It's what your parents and elders are for, is to help with that kind of stuff. And Landon, that is probably one of the most disrespectful things that you can do, especially to your grandparents. I mean, in general, really. I mean, your grandfather should be treated with more respect, even in my opinion, than even your parents. I mean, that's just a whole next level of respect. Okay, so.
I didn't punch him.
Definitely, Dad. If I send him home, I don't want you asking Grandpa for help and stuff right now, because I don't trust Landon right now. Okay, until we get, I think he needs to get something needs to be done about his medication. So here's what I want to do, Landon. I want you to be able to go home and finish your schoolwork. Okay.
All schoolwork's due tomorrow. Otherwise, he's done. End of the school year, it's over.
I have nothing else to do today except for do my work.
Okay, you're not going to argue with your dad, Landon, because if you are, I'll just keep you here.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I was just telling him all I have to do today is my work. I have nothing else to do at home. I have nowhere to go. So
hey, Landon, take a breath for a sec. All right. Let the judge talk for a second, then I'll talk to you in just a second. You're doing good, okay? That's all right. Sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay. I want you to be able to go home and finish up your schoolwork, okay? I don't want to have to worry about you running off or disobeying Dad, all right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the responsibility for you staying home, all right? I'm gonna put you on an electronic monitor.
Like an ankle monitor?
Yep.
Okay.
And you will not leave your house. You will not be able to go outside. You can go in the garage if you want some fresh air.
Okay.
Do something. You will not be able to go outside. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have another choice. I don't think you need to be in here necessarily. I'd rather have you finish your schoolwork. Your dad said he wants to try to manage you at home. And if the problem is you acting out when you can't go somewhere and get your way, then I'm gonna unfortunately have to step in and help train you to do that. And so I'm gonna put you on a monitor, okay?
I respect that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, Dad. So do you think that will help?
That's fine. At the end of the weekend, he's supposed to go back to Mom's. Is it okay? I mean, we're good with both addresses?
We can be at your house or at Mom's house.
Okay, all right.
And that's it, okay? And those medications need to be going back and forth and be.
No, they usually do, ma'am. But it became such a hassle. We just said, let us know when The doctor said the Adderall, if he doesn't get up before 11, don't give it to him because it does no good that late.
Right. He'll be up all night and yeah, there'll be a problem. And so, you know what you need to do, Mr. Jones, Landon, you need to get up in the morning and take your medicine.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
if you're done with your schoolwork and you want to sleep in, you can go back to bed and do that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Judge.
More orders. If someone can get the chance to bring me some more orders for electronic monitor, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We've got Kenshi McGee next, and that's Mr. Graham. I know I saw Mr. Graham here. There he is. And Mr. Lemire. There he is. Did I hand you that one, Mary, or no? Did I hand you the last one? No, I did not. Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and sign it and give it to you. You're welcome. Let's see. Oh, thank you. All right, Mr. McGee.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna need you to speak up, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks. There you go. Oh, wait. Never mind. Okay. All right, Mr. McGee, this is your 10-day detention hearing. I believe I met you before. I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here, the 323rd. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Graham, and he's here on the screen. Do you see him?
No, ma'am.
Okay, he's got a white, looks like a white or light gray shirt, tie. He's waving at you. Beard.
Can you see me, Kenshi?
I see him now.
Okay, all right. There's your attorney. And if I were you, I would not speak unless it's okay with your attorney. And you have a right to have your hearing recorded. And if you choose to do that, Mr. Brown will let me know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you've got level 1 acceptable behavior as of today. Mr. Lemire, what was he like before today?
He's been between level 1 acceptable and level 1 outstanding since he's been here.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Just check my notes real fast. Is that mom or his sister here? Is that your sister?
I believe that's his sister, Your Honor.
Okay, I remember her from the last time. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, again, we don't have a parent or legal guardian to consider releasing him to. That's one problem. The other problem is that he doesn't stay on level 1 outstanding. And the big problem is that there's a deadly weapon involved, and there are multiple. anyone know where mom is? Mr. Graham, do you know, or Mr. Lemire?
I talked to her this morning. I sent her the link for Zoom, but sometimes her phone is not on, so that's probably why she's not on right now.
Okay, because I haven't met her yet, I don't think. So,
And Your Honor, I believe that we can ask the sister the status, but I think they were considering have the sister filing for actual conservatorship in court. She can tell us what the status of that is.
has anything been done on that, miss?
They're going over the paperwork for it right now.
I'm sorry, can you take your hand away from your mouth and speak up and speak clearly? Thank you.
They're
Go ahead.
in the paperwork for it right now.
Okay, and I'm not sure how quickly things like that are moving right now with this pandemic going on, but Mr. McGee, you're lucky you have a sister that's here for you like this. You had all these pending charges, and then when you came back in April 6th, you tested positive for marijuana or THC. Another pending aggravated assault for deadly weapon, 2 of those, UUMB that occurred in February and criminal trespass that occurred in December. There's a directive issued in February. Oh, okay, and you have a hearing set for tomorrow. 9:30, is that right, Mr. Graham?
That's right, Your Honor. I don't believe that's going to happen. I'm going to talk to Ms. Bell later today. I haven't seen the grand jury referral for determined sentence, but I believe that's their plan. So I anticipate tomorrow's hearing is going to get passed as we work on those issues.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's facing a possible determinate sentence. And Mr. Graham, if you can just let the court know by the end of the day what's going to happen with that, that would be appreciated.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you know, yeah.
I just need to speak with Ms. Bell.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, like I said, so the third reason is the safety of the community. Mr. McGee, this is just a lot in a short period of time, which is pretty scary, especially with, you're a teenager with a deadly weapon. So I'm going to go ahead and keep you detained. And again, whatever the outcome, I would encourage you to stop wavering and just be on your top behavior. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge Terry,
Yes.
from what I understand, we do not have a parent for this young man.
Okay. For Mr. Medina?
Correct.
Thank you. Rodriguez is here with us. Mr. Lofton.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you Eric Medina?
Yeah.
All right. This is I'm going to need you to speak up and speak clearly, and it's yes or no, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. This is your detention hearing. You have a right to have this hearing within 2 business days of being brought in here to Kimbo. Purpose of this hearing is to determine whether we can release you to a parent or a guardian, or if you should be detained here in Kimbo for a while longer. Okay, if you're detained, you have a right to this hearing every 10 business days. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding, okay? I can only consider it for purposes of detention. You also have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. And for today, we have Trent Lofton, who is here on the screen. He's wearing a blue suit coat. Do you see him?
Yeah.
All right, so he's your attorney today. You have a right to have your hearing recorded, and Mr. Lofton will let me know if he needs me to do that. Okay, so you were brought in really early today for unlawful carrying of a weapon and evading arrest detention. Says that police were dispatched to a house due to an individual being in possession of a gun. Police observed you and 2 other individuals leaving the house. Police stopped them to be able to search them. Says that you ran back in the house and the police detained you. In your backpack was a Ruger .45 caliber pistol with a loaded magazine. The previous deferred, let's see. Your dad's not able to be here today. Your dad says he doesn't want you home right now. Says that you do whatever you please and you leave without permission. And you are very smart not to jump to defend yourself right there. So you're doing good. 14 years old. I don't know who you're hanging out with, but they're not your friends if you guys are out running around with a gun. Are the other 2 individuals here?
No, Your Honor. One of them is his 18-year-old brother, and the third suspect they weren't able to identify, but Eric's the only one that was actually arrested.
Okay, so his brother's home or wherever.
Yeah. Judge, I do want to add that the individual that they were visiting, he's pending a serious gun offense with the department as well.
One of the brother's friends, or do we know?
I believe it's Eric's friend.
I'm sorry, Eric, but these are not your friends. And your brother's not doing his job. He's supposed to protect you, not take you around or let you run around like this. And I really don't have anyone to even consider releasing you to, so I can't even consider sending you home today, okay? But even if your dad were here, 14 years old, knowing you're with your older brother, so we can't rely on him to help at home, knowing that you're running around with the loaded magazine and a gun in your backpack, that's gonna give me great pause to send you home. You're a danger to yourself and the community if you're putting yourself in that situation out there, okay? Have they talked to you about the behavior levels here in the back?
no.
Okay, and so there's, you got level 3 and there's different sub-levels in there, and then the best behavior is level 1 outstanding. Okay, that's your top level. And that's where we are going to expect you to be before you can be released home, or before we can even consider releasing you, okay? I'm not making you any promises. I'm saying that you need to be at your top level behavior before we will even consider releasing you back to your father, okay?
Okay.
All right, he's detained, thank you. Oh, miracle, okay.
All right. You want me to sit right here? Or, oh, this one. Okay.
I see Jay in the back.
Okay. Is there anybody from OCOK here on this one?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay, great. And Ms. Paxton is on this one. Where'd she go? There she is, okay. And Ms. Radler, this is yours, right? Yes. Oh, sorry, there we go.
Oh, sorry.
Hi,
Yes,
Miracle.
Hey.
Just as a reminder, hi, okay? Not hey.
Oh, hi.
That's okay. I think I said hey to you last time. Just a reminder, this is your 10-day detention hearing, okay? You know that you get one of these every 10 business days so that I can consider whether you should be detained or whether you should be released to a parent or guardian. And that would be obviously okay at this point, okay? You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding here. Remember that?
Yes,
Only
ma'am.
consider for purposes of detaining you, and you know you have a right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here with us on the screen. You see him?
Yes, no.
Okay. And you see your OCOK worker there too?
Yes, but I don't see my lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Adler, he's got a shirt and tie on, a dark tie and like a gray or green colored shirt.
I don't see him.
Got his glasses on. Mr. Adler, I think if you speak, it'll highlight your box.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey, Miracle.
Hi.
All right, there we go. Okay, and so last time we were here, I thought she was going to be picked up for her placement.
Yes, Your Honor. The original date that she was supposed to be released was May 14th. And Ms. Hurst may have more details about why that is not happening yet for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. So the refuge originally declined Miracle about a week before she was supposed to go. But her advocate from
Unbound.
Randy Smith, yeah, Unbound, and I both wrote advocacy letters on her behalf, asking the refuge to understand the trauma behaviors that come from being trafficked. And so they actually decided that they would give her a probationary period of 2 months to prove that she is the girl that Rundy and I advocated for. And so they're wanting to see that she does not have any aggression or that she does not run away before they're willing to accept her again. So her advocate and I talked about what would be like promising placements at this time. And so we talked about, since she has been court ordered to complete drug treatment, if you would be willing to let her go to Nexus Recovery Center in Dallas. It is a 45 to 90 day program where she will receive individual counseling, family counseling, process groups, educational training, and then obviously help with her addiction. They have accepted her, but I said I would make sure that the judge was okay with it. We are asking that she be on an ankle monitor. I do believe Miracle will do well at this Nexus Recovery, but I also want to have a backup plan. I did talk to her about the seriousness of if she were to go to Nexus and she were to run away or have any aggression, the seriousness of that would be breaking her parole. But I just wanted
for probation. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That it would be breaking her probation and there would be serious consequences for that. Miracle stated that she did understand, but if you are willing to let her go to Nexus, I also OCOK asks that you also explain the serious consequences of breaking that probation. We also have looked in if you are not okay with her going to a non-lockdown facility. We've also looked into 2 different RTCs, Serenity and Monarch Academy.
Well, I think, was it Judge Porter who put her on probation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I attended that one via Zoom, and you remember Miracle, he explained to you that he really would have no other choice other than TJJD, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And none of us want you there, okay? None of us want that to happen. What's the security level like at Nexus?
So it is a non-lockdown facility. And when I talked to them about, they asked if Miracle had a history of running or of aggression, and I said both. They said they would call 911, but then she would be immediately discharged.
Okay, so here's my other question about Nexus is you said it was a 40 to 90 day program, or 45 to 90 days. And
Yes,
so what if she gets into that closer to that 90 days, will she lose a spot at the other place that's at the refuge?
that's something that I haven't asked the refuge yet. My assumption is that if she is showing consistent positive behaviors, that maybe they would be willing to work with us, but I'm not for sure.
Okay. She's been, so Ms. Paxton, I see that she's level 1 outstanding for the last couple of days.
Yes.
What has she been like from the last detention hearing till 17th?
She's been mostly good. She's had some minor infractions. And those include talking when she's not supposed to, being disrespectful to staff, not following instructions. So, I mean, she's done overall fairly well with her levels. She was on a level 1, one outstanding from May 7th to May 16th, and she went to an acceptable that day. So she has been holding level 1 outstanding mostly.
Most days, yeah. Miracle, I'm chuckling because when
I was a
she
1-0.
listed off, excuse me?
I've been a 1-0.
Okay, hold on, Miracle. I'm chuckling because when Ms. Paxton, when your PO mentions that part of your waffling and levels has been, talking out of turn or disrespecting adults or something like that, you interrupted her. So that just tells me that's exactly what's happening. Miracle. Okay. Yeah, you've been on level 1 over the last couple of days. Mr. Adler, you are her ad litem as well, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so what are your thoughts on this Nexus situation as a holdover and for treatment?
Judge Terry, Miracle she's always honest with me and she reaches out to me. So Judge, if you don't mind, if you could just ask her point blank if she's willing to go to Nexus and stay and do the right thing. And I think she'll be honest with you right now. And if not, then it's the RTC.
Well, Miracle, what do you think? I mean, I've seen you in this setting and I've seen you in the other setting, right? So I know all about both of your cases. So, I mean,
I'm really
honest.
determined to change. Like I've never in my life been like, yeah, I'm ready to change. Never. Like I knew in the back of my mind that no, I'm just going to keep leaving because I don't want to be there. But I'm like really determined to make a change in my life and be with my dad again.
Okay. And we all want that for you. And so, but that's it's a big thing to say. Okay. And
Yeah.
It's really hard to do. I understand that. Okay. It's a really big thing to say. So I don't want you to overwhelm yourself and just say what you think I want to hear, like, oh, I'm ready to change. What I want to know specifically is if I let you go to Nexus for treatment, if you are willing to go, are you willing to go there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I think it'll benefit me a lot.
I think so too, especially if you stay.
I will stay.
You will stay?
Yes, I promise. I'm going to stay. I'm not just telling you that because like I think you want to hear that, but I'll be honest. Like I'm really honest. That's one thing about me. I am honest.
Okay, so you will stay and
Yes.
you will actually complete the treatment and follow
Yes.
the program.
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't want to keep you here. I really don't. I want you to go somewhere where you are gonna actually, where you can start making a change in your life, you know? And that's a lot easier to do if you're not here.
Yeah, I feel like I also have to prove other people wrong because I am on file and they do look at my file, but I also want to prove myself wrong, like show myself and do it for myself that I can do better, that I know I can do better.
That's right. And that's the most important thing is to do it for yourself. Okay.
Yes.
Don't do it because, I mean, yeah, we are all encouraging you to do it, but don't do it for anybody else other than yourself. Okay. Because you're going to be more successful at it if you're doing it for you. All right. But at the same time, keep in mind, you do have court orders to follow, right?
Yes.
And there are some serious consequences with that. You don't want to be in TJD and then look back and think, wow, I should have really just made that change I was talking about. And now here I am, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I will keep you here, but you may be released to go to Nexus. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck, Miracle.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. So they have put me on E?
Judge Terry,
Yes.
we do not have a parent in the building for this next client.
Okay, thank you.
Judge Terry, I believe she was on here earlier.
What was her
by
name?
Zoom. Octavia Walker.
Oh, I did see her earlier. Okay. Oh, she is here. Let
Oh,
me
yeah,
unmute
she's
her.
here.
Ms. Walker, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right, just one moment and we'll start with your child's detention hearing.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, ma'am. We hear you. Just one moment and we'll start with your child's hearing. Okay, this is Quincy Redrick. And Ms. Cook, where's Ms. Cook? I know. Oh, there she is, right there. You're right by Ms. Keenan Perkins on the screen here.
Number 2 or the third.
Okay, Ms. Walker, I'm going to go ahead and place you on mute because we're getting a lot of background noise that's distracting, and so I'm going to go ahead and place you on mute until it's time for you to speak.
Oh.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Redrick, this is your detention hearing. You have a right to a detention hearing within 2 business days of being brought into Kimbo here. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian, or whether we should keep you detained here. And if you are detained, you have a right to have another detention hearing every 10 business days. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I am going to need you to speak up too so I can hear you better. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you also have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. And it looks like Ms. Tracy Keenan has been appointed to you already. Do you see her here on the screen with us?
Hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so you were brought in yesterday. Oh, on a DTA. You were referred in custody by the Arlington PD. According to the police report, you had an active directive to apprehend due to running away from TYRC. You had returned home and mother called the police and you were taken into custody. You were placed on probation back in October for possession of marijuana. Supervisory caution for another possession back in January. Evading it, so right now you have pending evading arrest and a violation of a court order on a new offense. You tested positive for amphetamines, methadone, marijuana, methamphetamines when you came in yesterday. Back in April, you were positive for marijuana and methamphetamines. Oh, so you were placed on formal probation after failing on DPP on February 7th of this year. You were ordered to complete TCAP and outpatient drug counseling. Because of COVID-19, you weren't able to participate in either of them, and you were coming and going as you pleased. See, back in April, you were referred, just a minute.
Going as I please to where?
Wait.
Not
Quincy,
your turn yet.
don't say anything right now, okay? But just listen to the judge. Sorry, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Ms. Keenan, I'm sorry, I always mess that up with you. You're just gonna be Perkins to me all the time. Okay, it says you were released from detention to attend inpatient treatment at TORC back in April. So it hasn't even been a month. After being there 6 days, you ran and you have not been in contact with your PO. Your mom reported that she would see you around the apartment complex, but that you had not been home. When you referred him to detention, you tested positive for those 4 drugs I named. Case is going to go to resource staffing to see what other services are available to offer to you. And the DA has filed the evading arrest, and you are pending court with Judge Porter on August 3rd. So Mom, he's not been in contact with you since he left TYRC?
Yes, I've been in contact with him off and on. Like I say, I spoke with Joanna. He comes and goes. So he got into a bit of trouble yesterday, and that was my breaking point pretty much.
Okay. So you've just been kind of okay with him coming and going, or what? Have you reported to his PO when you've talked to him?
No, I wasn't okay with it. And when I spoke with Miss Joanna, I told her that, you know, we would miss each other because I worked, you know. So my daughter would tell me Junior came or Junior was here. And then when I would get there, he'd be gone. I don't know who he deals with, where he be at, you know. So I couldn't bring him in. And I told Miss Joanna that.
Because you're busy trying to work and he refuses to be supervised, right?
Pretty much. And I can't run behind.
Okay. There's nobody at home that can kind of make sure that he stays home, is there?
No, it's just us.
I can stay home.
No, sir, you can't stay home.
So you know what, ma'am, that's not the time for you to, you got the two of you to argue or engage right now. But Mr. Redrick, you're right, you can't stay home. You've got a problem. And you need the services that were offered to you. But you were refusing to accept those.
It's not that I was refusing to accept.
Quincy, don't say anything right now, okay?
I mean, there's really, so Mr. Redrick, there's really nothing you can say to negate the fact that you tested positive for some very harmful and serious illegal substances, amphetamines, methadone, marijuana, methamphetamine, all together. Okay, so you are a danger to yourself right now. I'm not even worried about you running around out there just for other people. I'm worried about you running around out there harming yourself. And that's what you're doing every time you put this stuff into your body, okay? And you're 15 years old. You ought to be listening to your mom and coming home when she says, but you, like you said, you can't do it. And even if you hadn't said that, I don't believe you can right now either. I think we need some help for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and detain you.
Can I speak and say something, please?
You have a question, Mom?
Yes, I do. I don't oppose my son and, you know, any of his wrongdoing. But Junior Quincy, he has become very reckless to the point now that I'm in fear for his life, and he don't understand that.
Right.
He's doing drugs now to the point to where it's grown folks, you know, trying to harm him. And I told him, I don't think you understand. You know, when you do stuff, it don't just affect you. So yesterday, I guess something happened over the weekend. He went over on Macquarie Street. His cousin called me. Everybody on that.
Mom, I don't want to disrespect you because I know you're really concerned about your child, and I am too. But I don't want you to get into the other stuff right now, okay?
Okay.
I know he's out doing something. I don't even know the details right now. I know he is, because what he tested positive for in here, he's probably hanging out with adults that are giving it to him. Okay, God knows what else he's doing. And so I'm concerned about his safety, and that's why he's staying here. And I hope that he just heard and takes in and considers everything that you just said while he's sitting here. Okay. Because you're right, Mr. Redrick, this affects your mom. She's got to go on about her day and go work and provide for your family. To worry about her son harming himself or the fact that her son's here. You know, this goes way beyond just you. But the most important thing to you should be taking care of you right now. So I'm gonna help you do that. That's why I'm keeping you here, okay?
Okay, but like, what am I gonna do?
And see,
Your behavior level is gonna be level one outstanding before we consider releasing you. You're gonna sit and wait until your PO comes up with some sort of a program that will take you back and get you some help. Between your PO and your attorney, you guys will figure out what they should ask me to do, okay? Thank you.
Miss Joanne spoke of a placement program.
Mom, if you have questions for his PO, you can do that privately with his PO, okay?
Okay, okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, bye-bye.
You're welcome.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, should be Billy Sheffield next. I'm Billy, yeah, okay. So that should be Mr. Lofton, and then where'd Miss Blair go? There she is.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and it looks like Mom is here. Mr. Sheffield. All right, remember me, I'm Judge Terry, we've met before. This is your 10-day detention hearing. And as I promised, I'll look at what, considering whether you should be released to go home with your parent, okay? Or this is it's just grandma or mom?
Grandma.
Okay, that's what I thought, that's right. This is grandma in this case. And you have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you also have a right to an attorney. And your attorney is here with us, Trent Lofton. Do you see him on the screen here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you also have a right to have your hearing recorded, and Mr. Lofton will let me know if you'd like to do that. And you have been, I think last time I said that if you were on level 1 outstanding, I would take a hard look at releasing you again. Remember me saying that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, and you've been on level 1 outstanding for the last 4 days. First, I want to hear from Grandma to see if this is something that she's able to do.
Yes, ma'am. And before, the reason why he wasn't waking up, he didn't have his melatonin. And when I brought him his melatonin, he started getting up for y'all. So I don't see any problem with him, you know, coming home.
Okay. And okay, he is clean of all substances now. He was just tested yesterday, so that's good. He does have his adjudication and disposition hearing is set for 2 days from now. Is that right, Mr. Lofton?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. And you think that's going to take place at that time?
I don't anticipate. You tell us, Your Honor.
I mean, we're here. What's that?
I will be wherever we're told to be. So.
Well, what I'm asking is that if it is set for that day, then is that something that's going to, from your perspective?
If it's set that day, we'll go. We'll be prepared to go that day, without a doubt.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was asking. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, what's the state's position on this one? I'm just curious. Caught you off guard, didn't I, Ms. Farmer?
Mute the mic.
There you go.
Oh, thank you, Judge. Judge, we've deferred to the court on this one. I'm actually the prosecutor for this case, so I'll reach out to Mr. Lofton about our court setting coming up, see if we can work something out.
Okay. All right, and Grandma, you are willing and able to take him back home with you?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And here's the thing, are you able to get him back here in 2 days for his hearing?
Yes, ma'am, I sure will.
It's at 2 o'clock on the 21st. You're able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Billy, are you going to cooperate with Grandma and come back here in 2 days if I let you go home with her today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And are you going to maintain level 1 outstanding with grandma?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, because I think that's the best choice for you, for yourself. And I think it's also the most respectful thing to do for your grandmother because she deserves that, don't you think?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And you've been quite a handful for her, but here she is. She's always supportive of you. You see that, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, and I'm very grateful.
And you're gonna take, does he take his melatonin at home on his own?
Yes, ma'am. He takes all of his medications on his own. I set him out there and I watch him take them, but because it's his responsibility, I set him out there and I never have a problem. He's never, a problem about taking his medicine because he knows it really helps.
Okay. Good. That's good, Billy. That shows me that you can follow rules. Okay, you can. I know you can. And it shows me that you're taking personal responsibility. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go with grandma. If you cause a problem or you decide not to cooperate with grandma and come back on Friday, there will be a directive to apprehend issued. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And we will go find you and pick you up. Okay. What's worse is that if grandma doesn't bring you back here, a warrant for her arrest could be issued. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want that to happen to grandma?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. Grandma does not deserve that, does she? All right. I believe she'll get you back here. So if you don't show up, I think it's probably something you chose to do. But you have held up your end of the deal here. You're clean now. So we know if you happen to come back, and I hope you don't, and you have substances in you, then it's something you did between now and then. Okay. So let's hope we don't see you. All right.
All right.
All right. I'm going to let you go with grandma today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Lofton, I think you are finished.
Yes,
And
go
the
blue.
next
Y'all have a
one-
good day.
Yes, thank you.
y'all.
And do not bring actually, no, we're fine. It'll be, Mr. Wilson is next. That's the out of custody. Do not bring another child into that room, please. The child is under 14. The next one is an out of custody hearing. So there should not be a child in the room.
We're getting them right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Huh? Okay, you need to sit here and mom needs to sit here.
Oh, boy. Okay, so Ms. Hamrick and Ms. Turner-Hill. All right, Ms. Hamrick is here, Ms. Turner-Hill is here. All right. Are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to sit directly in front of the computer screen and sit close to it so I can hear you, okay? Is there a parent here with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, she needs to be up there with you. Thank you. Okay, this hearing has been set today, and the purpose of this detention hearing is to determine whether I should let you stay out there in the community with your mother, or if I should detain you here in Kimbo, okay? I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd District Court. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you also have a right to an attorney. you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. But it looks like Ms. Melissa Hamrick has already been appointed to you. Do you see her on the screen there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a right to have your hearing recorded, and if you want that, Ms. Hamrick can let me know that. So this was set because alleged that you've engaged in delinquent conduct, and that's conduct that if it were committed by an adult, it would be considered a crime. But because you are a juvenile, it would be considered delinquent conduct. And so what I'm looking at here, let's see. There's already a pending offense of aggravated robbery, is that right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. He's already done his adjudication hearing. He's just pending a disposition hearing.
Okay. Oh, that's right. He was adjudicated for the aggravated robbery, and the disposition hearing is set for June. Okay, what were the results of his UA?
It was negative.
Negative? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. All right, so it says that your PO submitted a progress report on May 15th, which was about 4 days ago, to address 2 certified electronic monitor violations. It says that on the 12th, you violated from 3:06 a.m. to 3:16 a.m. On the 13th, it says you violated from 10:22 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. It says both violations showed that you were at the QT. Judge Kim wished to issue a DTA for you. So you're here because Judge Kim ordered them to pick you up and bring you in, okay? Due to you recently obtaining employment, an out of custody detention hearing was scheduled to address the violations. Let's see. So this, on the offense report here, under pending referral, that's not accurate then, correct?
That's the one he was adjudicated for.
He's already been adjudicated on that. That's what I'm asking. Okay, so it's no longer pending. He's been adjudicated on that.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
And so January 31st, when you, at your adjudication hearing, that's when Judge Kim placed you on a monitor. And that was to be done once your family moved out of a shelter into your own apartment. And that was on February 28th. You were placed on the monitor when your family moved into their own apartment. Right, I mean, I guess the only way to address the issue, whether or not you, I mean, about the monitor violations is, what were you doing at the QT in the middle, late at night on one night, in the middle of the night, the other night?
One night, my mother was in pain and I had to go get her, we went to the store to get her some pain medicine. The second night, I have a girlfriend and she's pregnant. And I went to go get her some food, some chips and some hot dogs from QT. And those are the 2 times I left.
You understand that Judge Kim ordered you on a monitor that you were not to leave your house, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your girlfriend sick or disabled when because she's pregnant?
Yes, ma'am. She be throwing up, like she'll get really sick and she can't stand on her feet at all. Like she'll get real dizzy and she have to sit in front of her, have to get water. Yeah.
Okay, that happens. So who else lives in the house?
My mother.
Just you, the 3 of you live in there?
It's just my 2 boys and me.
Okay, how old is your other son?
3.
Okay.
But sometimes the young lady who is conceiving whatever right now, she come over sometimes because JD is on house arrest. So instead of JD going out, everybody just come over to the house.
Okay, and that's what they're supposed to be doing, okay? And I know that, you know, you are partly responsible, obviously, for the condition that your girlfriend is in, but you are also responsible for yourself, okay? You end up in trouble back here with Judge Kim, and you're not going to be able to be out there with her taking care of her or the baby. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, you know, is she also a teenager?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Unfortunately, she also made an adult decision. And so if she is able to walk or whatever, and you are not able to leave the house and she needs something, she's going to have to figure that out. Okay. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but you guys laid down and did adult things, and there are consequences to that. All right. That's not worth someone wanting hot dogs. It's not worth you being brought back here. Is it?
No, ma'am.
And Mom, I mean, you understand, even if you need pain meds and stuff, you're going to have to call his PO something. Okay?
No, see, I never have them kind of cramps. Really, I was about to go to the hospital, but I was curled up in a fetal position. I was blood clotting. Like, I had to go get something. My 3-year-old and him was the only ones at the house. I couldn't do nothing. And then the corona, JPS was shut down due to the corona, and they really tough and strict up there. So I don't want to get sick trying to go see about me. So I just sent him to go give me some medicine and warm water.
I'm looking at the map the PO attached. Ms. Turner-Hill, how far is that from the house?
Your Honor, I can't tell by looking at the map.
It's right
I don't know miles or anything.
I'm sorry, Mom, go ahead.
The QT is right around the corner. I stay off of Central and Laganda, and the QT is on Central and Northside Drive. It's like down the street and right around the corner.
All right, I know where that is. I think what's really saving you right now, Jamayan, is that your UA was clean.
I have a question.
Sure.
My son had been trying to get him a job and do all this stuff that he needs to do to stay out of trouble, stay out the way. He understand what he did was wrong. But he have a job now, and we need the money because I lost my job due to the corona. So when we steady trying to get called and get time out so this boy can go to work, that's very frustrating. This whole situation is really, but we trying to work with it because we understand that JD is at fault and he got to accept responsibilities for his actions. But at the same time, we got to be realistic. We still got to live life every day. I am a single parent. He's 16.
I hear you, Mom. I'm definitely hearing you. I heard you within the first 2 sentences. Okay, so I'm not being rude, cutting you off, as I completely understand where you're coming from. Okay, and so what I want to do is, because Judge Kim's the one that wanted him to be brought in, and he's the one that put him on the monitor with all his conditions and such. I think that Judge Kim would be okay with having an exception for him to go to and from work. Ms. Turner-Hill, has that been run by him yet?
It is not. JD just obtained employment the same day we submitted the progress report, but he started orientation and he worked. And I guess the issue that Mom's talking about, they called on Saturday and Sunday, and nobody's here on Saturdays and Sundays, but JD did call me yesterday or day before yesterday to give me his schedule for the week, and it's been entered.
Okay, and so can I call you JD?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everybody else is calling you JD, so if that's how you hear me, that's fine. JD, where are you gonna be working at?
I work at Sonic on University, but I have another job too. I got this job at Wendy's, so I'm gonna have 2 jobs, and the way I'm gonna have to work around it is like I got 37 hours this week coming up, and then I probably had like 25 in my other job. So
Is that the Wendy's on 7th there?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they're right around the corner from each other, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I know how it is. I'm so glad you got a job, and 2, because your mom's right, you do need it. You really need it now that you have another person that you're gonna have to be responsible for. So what I want to tell you is, I know how things go. You're going to make friends. It's going to be fun to hang out and stuff. There's not going to be any hanging out after work. Okay.
Yes,
None of that. You're not going to be hanging out after work. When your shift is over, it's over, and then you're straight home. All right. Ms. Turner, I would like you to run that by Judge Kim, because he may know more about this case than I have seen. This is the first time I've seen this young man. But I think that's what, I mean, I don't think any of us want to prevent him from putting food on the table if that's truly what he's doing. So, okay. All right. So, Mr. Wilson, there are to be no further violations. I'm sorry. If you guys have an emergency of some sort, need something, you call the PO immediately. If it's on Saturday or Sunday and you can't reach her, whatever, I don't know what to tell you. You need to abide by Judge Kim's order. Okay.
Excuse me. I just want to know, we first, he had a court date scheduled for February. They pushed that back. Then he had one scheduled for May. They pushed that back. Now we got one scheduled for June. I don't know when to go on, how to go on. So I really want to speak to Judge Kim, because I'm agitated and I'm aggravated about the whole thing. It's been since November. Well, I've been going through this. When is enough enough? When is it going to be over?
Well, I think Ms. Hamrick can speak to why things were pushed back. There's no they. In other words, the court just doesn't decide. They're just going to put your son's case off. Okay. There was a reason it was done that way, and you're going to want to speak to his attorney and his PO about that. There's no going to be speaking to Judge Kim about that. And then anything that's been pushed off or whatever, so to speak, in the last few months is definitely due to the coronavirus. And so because this court has been operating, doing as much as it possibly could do under the orders and orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the guidance from the Office of the Court Administrator. Okay. If we could do more, we would be doing it. So it is set for June 17th at 9:30. And so if you have questions about that setting, you're going to have to speak to his attorney and his PO.
Because these court dates been pushed back way before the corona even thought it came about.
I think I just addressed that, ma'am, and I've made my order. I'm going to go ahead and let him stay out, but he's going to have to provide all of his work schedule, addresses, and everything to Ms. Turner Hill. And Ms. Turner Hill, I want you to make sure Judge Kim's okay with that as well. Again, no staying after work, no hanging out. He's going to work and he's going home. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I don't need to sign anything then on this because it was just yeah. Okay. All right. Do not bring the juvenile in. Even though courts are open here in Texas, I have to close off the remainder of the proceedings pursuant to Texas Family Code 54 for this child's privacy, because the child is under 14. And so the child is not to be brought in for, I've got to let 20 seconds pass by for the YouTube feed to finish. So if anyone is on the Zoom meeting who is not this child's parent or guardian, or who is not an officer of the court, they need to be removed.